Cerniso,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Vanderneck.
Here.
8 present, 0 absent.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Yes. Well, good evening, everyone. I usually will go last here, but today, a very special day for us here in Indiana. I am entering in a proclamation that will declare April 8th as IUP women's basketball. Whereas the Indiana University of Pennsylvania women's basketball team has completed a historic 25-26 season characterized by relentless dedication, elite teamwork, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. And whereas, though their grit and strategic execution, the Crimson Hawks ascended to the pinnacle of collegiate athletics, representing not only IUP but Indiana Borough on the national stage in the NCAA Division II finals. And whereas the leadership of the coaching staff and the discipline of the student athletes have set a standard for championship culture, proving that through vision and hard work, no goal is out of reach. And whereas the success of this team has served as a powerful inspiration to the youth of Indiana Borough, demonstrating the values and perseverance, sportsmanship, and the importance of finishing strong. And whereas the date April 8th, 2026 holds special significance, April being the 4th month representing Final Four, and the Elite 8 being the 8th day, marking the elite levels of competition achieved by this historic squad. Now, therefore, I, Charles Michael Simonton, Mayor of Indiana Borough, by virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim April 8th, 2026 as IUP Women's Basketball Day in Indiana Borough. And I encourage all citizens to join me in recognizing these outstanding athletes and coaches for their historic achievements and for bringing national recognition and honor to the home of the Crimson Hawks, Indiana Borough. Along with the proclamation, I do have a few letters of commendation as well for some of the athletes as well. So I'd like to, girls,
Very classic.
so I'd like you guys to join me up here so I can present you with the proclamation and also letters as well. So, come on up, please. All of you. Come on, coach.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, you
Thank you.
that picture. So get that for you.
I need all the heads and I'm not seeing.
That's why. Yep.
Can't see you. Okay. Thank you. When I see that proclamation.
Absolutely.
Just get a copy of it tomorrow.
And while he's getting a picture of the proclamation, I here enter a letter of commendation to Coach Carey, the coaching staff, and the student athletes of IUP women's basketball. A commendation for an outstanding season for 2025 and 2026.
Thank
So this letter is to you, Coach Carey. Basically for commendation for exemplary leadership. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I had this plan to write letters to the seniors. But then there was a few people that I had to write to as well. So I'm going to get that out the way here. So not put it in order and it doesn't be Miss Maggie. Accommodation for an elite performance and championship. All right, so I thought you were leaving us. Just said you're giving us one more year.
Yes, so.
All right. Well, Ms. Miller, this is to you. Accommodation for execution and poise under pressure. Ms. Weaver, accommodation for senior leadership and tenacity. Ms. Hardwell, accommodation for senior leadership and vision. And Ms. Wilkerson, accommodation for selflessness and teamwork. Again, first, congratulations on your season, and thank you for being such great inspirations to our people here in Indiana.
Thank you.
Trust me, they don't want.
You're welcome to stay.
You're more at the very end. You can't leave yet.
You're gonna see municipal government at its finest. I'm sure there's 10 other things.
Thank you.
Homework there. Yeah.
I need to write a paper.
Homework.
All right, I feel good about that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Putting that together, I really appreciate it.
Bless you.
Feeling okay? All right. All right, moving on to any additions or changes to the agenda.
Jonathan, did you want to add that to the agenda, the update from the?
Yeah, Luke is going to provide an update on our resolution under old business.
Okay.
Any other changes or additions, deletions? Moving on to the approval of minutes and council reports.
A motion to approve the March 3rd, 2026 council minutes.
There's been a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Betsy. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passes.
I move to approve the March 17th, 2026 work session minutes.
Second.
Luke seconds. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
I move to approve the February 2026 financial report.
Second.
I'll second.
Seconds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes. February financial reports are in. Was anyone here with us today wishing to speak public comment? You have 3 minutes and we ask that you sit in this chair in front of us. No? All right. Well, thank you for joining us and for those of you online. Moving on to committee reports. We'll start with administration.
We met on Tuesday, March 17th. We did a review of the financial report and we had a good parking update from parking coordinator Sakula. We addressed old business where we were informed that we have a new person from the McKinney Group working with us as our HR consultant. We had an update on the Indiana County Municipal Emergency Services Authority's decision to remove resident benefits from the service plan, that's IC Mesa. And then we also thoroughly discussed recycling fee, buying cardboard recycling containers to have more readily available in the borough, And we voted at that point to raise the recycling fee from $1 to $3 per month. Any questions?
I have a question on the action item.
Okay. So I'm bringing an action item forward. It's resolution 2026-05, motion to approve resolution 2026-05, amending the fee schedule to reflect the increase in recycling fees from $1 to $3 for the Indiana Borough residents.
All right, there's a motion
Came from committee.
from committee. So
I do have a question on the motion.
Discussion.
discussion.
So my only question is simply more about timing, obviously it's not a very large amount, but it's a large percentage increase. We've also talked about adding the cardboard bins, which would bring in more revenue. And there's been talks of trying to gather more recycling from the local bars and restaurants as well. And so I guess I want to float it out there for consideration, possibly just delaying the increase for a period of time to see if any of those items would come to fruition. Again, I know it's a very small number, so I'm not like trying to die on this hill. I just know that people are getting hit left and right with every increase possible. If there's a possible avenue to gain more revenue of which to break even in and possibly get a return on the recycling program, maybe just consider delaying this for 3 months, 6 months, something like that, to see if any of those things would pan out.
We wouldn't be able to buy the containers. We're using this funding to buy the containers.
Okay.
And I'll go into more detail too with our audit report, but we haven't raised, recycling's been $1 for the last 15 years. We haven't raised.
Yeah, it's been through my committee and we've maintained because we were breaking even.
Yeah.
But I think with the decrease, like with a
15%.
15% across countywide.
Yeah.
And I apologize, I was at that particular meeting, but I did, if the point of this is they'll
The
raise the
point
money to
is
buy the
to-
bins, I missed that. So I
Yeah.
understand then.
Buy the bins, and that just so the public knows, understanding that when you drop off recycling at the center, the borough, gets a percentage of the total, but if we provide them recycling direct from the borough, we get 100% of that amount. And that's why it's important for people to recycle in the curbside bins, because that is where you see savings. So if people increase their recycling usage, you actually will see this rate stay the same, or, we could maybe potentially decrease it in the future if we're able to get to the point where people are using the service. It's a great service. It's a way for you to realistically make money on your trash. So please use it. We're here in public meetings. I just really want people to be encouraged to use it. And then when the recycling cardboard comes in, please use this service. This helps us. It helps keep all of our rates very low and keeps these services available for everybody.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think that, because I also had issues with it going up. I mean, I'm on a fixed income, basically, more than some, more money than some, but with everything going up, like gas for cars, my thought was, it's only, a couple dollars, but that couple dollars can mean a lot for people, like gallons of milk. So I think if you make them understand that if they recycle, that the price could possibly decrease in the future, it may go down a little bit better.
Yeah.
This is what Casey had
Yeah,
said,
that's like
so.
the idea is that
Yeah.
if we collect here in the borough, we get 100%.
Understand that.
Right. If people just go out there, we do get a percentage, but we're not getting everything that we're recycling. And the borough historically has been the #1 recycler. And so to be able to capitalize on all those returns, that's why we've been able to keep it so low.
I mean, I've seen people
historically.
throw stuff in the garbage, and I just
And you too?
no, it's not supposed to go in the garbage.
Yeah. And to think you're saving yourself money by putting it in the bin.
Right.
You're actually paying the fees for yourself. So, please use those services.
I like the cardboard box idea because I drive out there, I save mine up and drive it out. And I was getting ready to offer it to somebody that I see they have a bunch on there, and I've seen them put it in the garbage before. And I say, I'll take it for you, but I think that that's a really good idea to have it in town.
And I agree. I think like if we can get to the point where our recycling from cardboard and our purchase of this, maybe we can then lower the rates to accommodate, because I don't love to have to raise fees, but I also really know that we're gonna get that money back.
Just for the sake of anyone watching online and the record, I guess, where does that money, if we were to make some level of money, what fund would that go back into?
Recycling,
Okay,
recycling fund.
Yeah.
In which also we pay, for garbage out of the it's pays garbage and recycling.
okay.
To add to the points for those watching at home, we do also have recycling bins here at the borough that they can purchase if you've lost one or the other. We have replacement bins.
Great.
Yeah, and also it's money.
Right.
And there was a motion on the table that we need to vote. We need to do a roll call vote because it is it money?
Yes.
Yes. Definitely money.
Yes, Broad,
Yes.
Tabauser,
Yes.
Maple,
Yes.
Milnes,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Cerniso,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Vanderneck.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
All right, that takes me to community development meeting. We hosted a speaker and we had a pretty lengthy conversation about the extension of the district out west on Philadelphia Street, where we're changing it to mixed commercial, I believe.
Mixed use zone on the other side of campus.
No, not mixed use.
No, up where we talked
Commercial.
about before, up past the train
Past
tracks.
the railroad tracks.
Yeah, so it matches the other
So that
side.
matches.
Yeah, but my point of making Bill Purpose was the symmetry of it, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
this.
Great.
Yeah, we talked about a little bit about McGregor Park and about how we're going to be fixing that bridge repair. And then we'll be addressing the needs of the park and the renovations. We have 2 more years remaining on that grant to spend those funds. So that's good. We also had a hearing earlier that day on the conditional use. And we heard comment from the planning commission that they stand against converting the historic property into a parking lot. We also heard from the owner of the lots themselves about their plans for the lot, should they get the conditional use.
Question about that, just to hear, just as procedural, when is the appropriate time to discuss that further? When would that come up? Is that later? Did I miss it? Or is that?
We have it under planning commission notes.
I saw that as
just a
well.
motion.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what
So
that
we
was
can-
for.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can talk about that.
Thank you.
About that, since the planning commission does bring motions to this.
I think that was an error. I think it should have came under community
Should
development.
have probably been
Okay.
under committee.
Okay.
Should we,
Thank
you
you.
want to talk about that now?
Yeah, we could talk about that now. It seems like a good place to do it. Actually thought it was under community development. I didn't read the heading as planning commission. Selective reading.
I have an initial question, if that's okay.
Shoot.
I guess just to make sure we don't accidentally step in something, this is the time to openly talk about our thoughts on whether or not to approve or disapprove. Is this the moment?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sounds like
okay.
good, man.
I didn't know if there was supposed to be an executive session or anything like that before that. I just want to make sure it didn't accidentally.
Yeah, we do have to make a decision, so.
Okay, so I guess my initial thought on the matter is, I know that we want to preserve historical buildings. At some point, though, some buildings may simply be too far gone of which to reclaim them for use in an any way feasible business manner. I also think that going along with that statement, I also think and I know we're actively working on it, but I also think we need to just make sure we don't drop the ball on how to prevent other historical buildings from potentially falling into the same state of disrepair. I don't think we should talk about one side of that coin and not the other. This one sounds like it's very, very far gone, in my opinion, based on what I've heard. And so but I just want to make sure, throw that second part in there. We definitely need to make sure we keep focus on how can we stop others from going over the brink? Because regardless if it becomes a parking lot or another building, it seems like this building as it is past whatever use it's gonna have as a structure. And that is unfortunate, but I don't know what to do about that, other than blank slate it, and that's up to the people who own it, then what goes in next, it's not up to us necessarily, so.
Oh, yes, it is.
We have some sway in the matter, but within zoning rules and regulations, they can,
It would be a conditional use if they were to turn it into a parking lot.
no, I agree, okay, sorry, you're right, I didn't think of that,
So we would have to approve that.
that's fair.
Got it.
No, that's a good point, thank you.
And the planning commission is opposed to it because they are really unalterably opposed to tearing down buildings and putting in parking lots in downtown.
Yeah.
That's why the motion reads the way it does.
Okay, I see the distinction there. They're asking to turn it into a parking lot, not necessarily just tear it down. Gotcha, okay, that's a good point.
I have something to say if I can jump in.
Go for it.
Okay.
Can you just?
yeah.
For everyone watching, we're talking about the building on 53, 57 South 9th Street there on
The yellow brick.
Yellow brick
Was a doctor's office, historical doctor's office. So here's my thoughts on planning commission. I think like they have to make their decision based on, the ideals of our ordinances as we pass them, and we want them to make those recommendations. Like that's the idea. We want them to make those kinds of recommendations. I also think as a government, we in our comprehensive plan, we favor supporting our businesses. And it's important for us to provide services and a structure for them to thrive. And part of that structure that we provide is parking services. And there are some areas in town where just geographically, it's difficult for us to provide those services everywhere. We have small municipal lots, but they really don't provide the kind of parking needs that many of the larger buildings that we have in town. And with the change in we have a campus full of students and many of them have cars. That was not how things were back when that building was a student rental. Not every single student had a car, but now we have a lot of vehicles that we have to house somewhere. And our small lot on 8th Street is not really capable of providing parking services to that area. So I don't think that this is ideal. It is a beautiful building. I've toured it. It's in horrible shape. And I agree that it would be very financially unwise to purchase that building and think that you could put anything in it with zero parking. So while I don't think it's ideal in this situation, I feel like we have to make an accommodation because we're not really capable as a government right now of providing the proper parking services for the building next to it, which is in great shape and has a lot of viability for office and for housing. So I would hate to have one building be 50% used and one vacant when we can have one thriving building that is 100% usable. That's just my position on it. So.
Any other thoughts or comments?
I would like to disagree with Casey in that I know my feelings are at odds with those of a large percentage of our residents. I think we have loads and loads of parking in downtown Indiana. Maybe not at the door of the building you want to go to, but parking is always available. I have never in the 9 years I've lived here, ever had trouble finding a parking space in downtown Indiana. I may have had to walk 2 blocks, but that's not trouble finding a parking space. So while I agree that the building itself is probably not viable and should be torn down, since it would not be feasible to fix it. I still am reluctant to approve the precedence of turning buildings into parking lots. So I'm going to vote for the resolution the way it is.
Can I add a question? Speaking of precedent, would there be in for future cases any grounds of like in a lawsuit losing based on approving this one if we didn't approve the next one or the one after that?
Oh, anytime a governmental board does anything, it can be viewed as precedential.
Okay.
Okay. So if you deny it, that could be precedential.
Okay, sure.
If you approve it, that could be precedential. However, as with most things, if your decision is based on the facts that are in front of you, you aren't necessarily bound by precedent, because every building that comes in the future may be in a different state of repair.
Okay.
Whereas I don't believe anybody looking at this building, and this is where it gets dicey, is it's kind of like two questions. I don't think there's many people that think that building can be saved. I was in that building 10 years ago and didn't think it should have been saved then. But that being said, the issue is, what do you put in its place? Whether that be a parking lot, whether that be green space, whether that be a new build. Those are things that sometimes aren't they're in our control, but they're not really in our control. Because what I see happening here and in other locations and other municipalities is the building just is let go even more than it already is. Then you get into a situation possibly where now we have code violations. Then you get into a situation where the owner doesn't pay taxes and it becomes a tax. There's all these things that could happen, and it's all speculative. Don't misunderstand me.
Sure, we're gonna wait up ending 10 years and
But then
collecting a bunch of
it
fees.
could be a mess that ends up
Costing.
costing the borough to eliminate the situation. So, it's a very tough decision, in my opinion, because knowing what the intended or the requested use is, if somebody came in and said, hey, we want to tear that down and build a new building in its place, we probably wouldn't think twice about it.
Right.
But that's not the situation that is in front of you. So, yes, does it create a precedent? Sure. But most precedents can also be fact-based. And every case that comes before you will be different factual. So,
Thank you.
Do we know, I wasn't able to be at the work session or whatever this was, is this parking, do we even know this? Is it parking for tenants of the building next to it, you're saying, or will it be a
Yeah.
pay by space rental lot? Or
It would be parking for the building itself, from what was the testimony given. So the first 2 floors are occupied.
Okay.
And then there are apartments and places that they can remodel, but there is no place for them to park. Now, they do have parking under the building currently, but it's not enough to have for tenants. So it's people to live there. It's not necessarily for the public
right.
to use. One thing that was brought up that I do think, should be considered if folks are interested in approving this, would be to approve it with conditions that included a vegetative barrier, which we use in the mixed use zone, and requiring it to go back to planning commission so that they can get a better, I wouldn't approve the parking plan
As it was.
as it was. I don't find it to be acceptable. I didn't think there was enough parking, and I didn't think there was enough barrier. And like in some of the mixed use zones where we have rules about, you have to have a hedgerow and you have to have a decorative space, and it's not just, hey, we're mowing it down and this is just a concrete square. So I would
How
be
would
willing
we-
to approve it on those conditions and send it back to planning commission for final approval on design.
That was gonna be my question.
Yeah.
Is if we could make it so that they have to make it So it's like there's some green space in
Yeah.
there, maybe benches or rocks that people could sit on, something nice to make it look nice.
Well, it's not, I mean, we do have to remember, it's not that big of a space. We want to be
We're
careful.
reducing
Yeah,
significant.
I think we're
They were
moving our
barely
benches.
squeezing in like 6 or 7.
Yeah. But there was, the way they had it, I do think there's space for a hedgerow in a fence, you know,
Yeah.
that's kind of what we require in some of our other zones. And I would like, it would be, I feel like appropriate to match that.
Yeah. Something that keeps the corner.
Yeah.
Didn't they talk about doing some kind of a plaque or something, because that was like
Yeah.
for
Oh, yeah.
hospital, like doing something nice.
It seems that they're open to changing that design. That design is an old design that they didn't even create.
Yeah.
They just brought it.
Well, it was, oh gosh, I forget the gentleman's name. Was it Ron? Is that his name? Ron Marsh?
Yeah.
Suggested pulling out a piece of and having it somewhere
Yeah.
else in the community. He named
The
the
redstone
place. I
in the
couldn't remember.
bottom. Yeah. Using the redstone. and
Right, as a
creating-
memorial in another business location with maybe a picture or something like that.
I feel like if you could maintain some of the historical elements and provide some sort of vegetative barrier between the walking space and the parking lot, it would create a private area.
Or at least the image, the
It would,
illusion of
it would
it.
give you a different feel than just what they had there.
And so just for the sake of the question, are we allowed to? Because it's a motion is to approve or deny. So can we attach things to that? Is that the way to go about doing that properly? Or do you have to?
I feel like it would be okay if we freestyled this motion. It didn't go with the one maybe that was on the agenda.
That looked like he ate a lemon right there.
Deny.
Yeah, you just gotta be very clear as to what your motion's gonna be, and then, you know, that's all.
So the conditional use was asking for what specifically? I guess is the
To
question.
turn it into a parking lot, like it's
So
basically,
is it then full sale, we approve that or we don't, or
well, we could do that, but we can also make stipulations
for you to say
and
be as
change things
specific
up.
as we can?
Yeah, approving with conditions.
Yeah, we would agree with.
I just didn't have since it was conditional use, if it's a yes or no, basically.
Right, that's essentially my question. too.
What is a yes?
How would you attach the stipulation
Yeah.
legally?
I think if we were gonna go that way, it might be a good idea. Are we within our 45 days to wait till the work session to have a better, because I want to make sure that we're covered on the motion.
I was gonna have the auditor come in for our work session, if we need a work session, we'll have one,
Okay.
but,
Unless people feel comfortable writing it right now, but I want to make sure it,
Well, it would only be 30 days, wouldn't it? If we looked, it was at the work session, was the hearing, wasn't it?
yeah.
So I mean, it'd be 30 days, the next work session, give or take a few days.
I mean, it just gives us a chance to look at a new motion that is like, it checks the boxes that we want to see. And that it fits in with the planning commissions, like. They didn't seem opposed to.
Trajan's.
He's saying, right, there is no motion on the table yet, I believe.
No.
They can approve the use and deny the design. You
Okay,
can approve the use and deny.
And then that
Okay.
triggers
yeah.
submission.
Do we have to say what we want the design to have in right now, or is that something can be decided at a later time?
Come back.
I would say your design needs to meet the requirements of what's already in our regulations, right? We have those stipulations. Verify that with Trajan, but I think,
Planning commission.
yeah, I mean, they have their guidelines that they have to follow with regard to parking and vegetation and all those things.
Okay,
So, I think you can approve the conditional use if you choose to, and then just state that that conditional use must.
Trajan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Trajan, do you agree with what I'm saying? That the planning commission has rules and regulations in place for parking and vegetation and all that?
Well, yes and no. Yes, in regard to, yeah, that's correct. But the idea of a conditional use is to apply additional conditions beyond what's in the ordinance to ensure it maintains the character, whatever the goal is overall.
All right, so if the council were to table this and come back at the work session, would you be able to work with the appropriate committee on council to put together the ideas that we've discussed here this evening.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Can I ask a question just of all of you? Like, if this thing's clearly not meeting guidelines of planning commission, why did it get all the way to coming before council if that's the case?
Because,
This is just.
well, yeah, trade
steps
defense,
to-
whatever.
Cause it's,
I
you guys have to, planning commission can't vote on it. It has
I
to-
get that, but at no point in this, would they say this is, don't take that design to council, it's not gonna meet even our requirements?
Well, no,
That's
the
what I'm
use,
saying,
this
right?
use as a parking lot in this zoning district is a conditional use. So planning commission doesn't necessarily have a say in it. They can make a recommendation throughout the process. But this use, like I said, because it's conditional, it has to go to council. Same way
I get
as
that.
if it was
Just
a
I'm
special
confused in
exception,
the
it would have to go
process.
to the zoning hearing board.
Why would a design be coming to us that we know right away isn't gonna meet what we want? Is my question, just kind of procedurally
Well,
going forward.
I don't think the design's coming to us, the approval of.
Like if you guys are referencing, they
The first
presented the design, I was not here.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
But that design was woefully inadequate from what I understand.
It was.
Right.
So I guess, I mean, what I'm saying is there any way in the future to be like,
So I
you
guess-
sent that week or what was that?
Right, Trajan, correct me if I'm wrong. If the council were to approve the conditional use, that's just saying, yeah, you can tear down this building and you can put a parking lot there. However, you have to come back and give us the parking lot design. Is that correct?
I would say yes. I hesitate because I'm not sure, like you said, like you guys were talking about before, if the specific conditions have to be within the approval. But I mean, I think naturally the developer would be willing to go that path that you just described. So approve the use, and like I said, not necessarily the design, but allow that to maybe work through planning commission, work through community development, whichever group it does. Once the design meets, like I said, their satisfaction, then they can go ahead and move forward.
Yeah, it's like, isn't it traditional that we have conditional use? That's a separate thing from the design.
Yeah.
Approval process. So like they a design, but it's not, that's a different process than this.
Oh, they just having to show
They
us.
show us a design.
They weren't asking approval of that, is what
They-
you're saying.
Right,
That
I'm
just
saying, I
happened to
think
be
it's
what they had.
traditionally separated, if, does that make sense to you?
So could
They
we-
just happen to bring one.
Yeah, okay, that was my fourth percent, like, if
So-
the designs are concerned, don't even bring it.
So we could say something like a motion to approve the conditional use pending design approval.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, I think that would work.
You
Are
might
we-
want
we
to
got
read
there.
that motion again, so Lori gets it.
Yeah, so on the conditional use hearing for 5357 South 9th Street. There's a motion to approve the conditional use pending design approval.
Were you officially reading the motion?
I was officially reading the motion, but I
Up then.
Oh.
I must
It's the
abstain
motion.
from this vote, just for clarity.
Did you just second the motion?
Isn't that what you were saying I was up then?
No.
That's it,
Oh,
too.
what did you
Who's gonna run the vote if you second the motion?
Oh, sorry, you want to second it?
I'll second the
Okay.
motion.
Right. Sorry,
I forgot I needed a second, my bad.
is there any discussion on the motion? Any additional discussion? No? We want to do a roll call or, okay, let's do a roll call to make it clearer for Lori.
Sure. Thank you. Broad,
This is
we're
to,
voting on this new motion to approve it, right?
to approve pending design
Design approval.
approval.
I don't like it, but I'm not gonna vote against it, so. I have a choice of yes or no, so I'll have to say yes.
DeBowser,
Yes.
Maple,
Yes.
Milnes,
I heard, I'm thinking. I'm formatting the sentence because it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna say, so it's gonna come back to us again.
Just to design. Design.
The
The
design.
design.
So we're not approving the usage, just the.
We
design.
are
You're
approving the
approving
use.
uses, you're not approving
We
the
are not
design.
approving the design that they submitted.
You're saying okay to a parking lot, but you need to show us a pretty picture first.
No,
Noel,
Yes.
Cerniso,
Yes.
Smith,
I abstain.
Vanderneck.
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no, and 1 abstained.
Motion.
the grounds for the abstain?
I'm related to the developer.
There we go.
Sorry. I should have made that clear.
Yeah.
I will weigh in.
Okay.
Why I try to say,
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that it could have been.
yes, no, I'm related to the developer. Their property or respective property.
Thanks, Trajan, for jumping on.
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you.
Technically, he doesn't have to say why he abstained,
No.
correct? I mean, he offered it. I'm just saying, but technically you don't have to, right?
There are.
I'm an open book.
Yes, thank you for your transparency.
For transparency's sake, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it at the beginning, but okay, up next is the public safety. Oh, that took way longer than I thought.
Sorry, I gotta go to a different page. There we go. All right, so public safety, we did a lot. We heard from the Indigo Public Transportation folks considering a possible grant application or opportunity rather. That was a fantastic notes. For anyone who wasn't there, read them. And so we heard from some resident or a specific resident who was touching on what many other residents have, and we also have, is the safety of Philadelphia Street and the people, pedestrian traffic. We also got to have a bit of a meet and greet with one of the officers. I'm going to get her last name wrong. Malcotti, thank you. Officer Malcotti came and told us a bit about herself, and we got to get to know her a little bit better. So that was pretty neat. And we also had the not the first ever, but the first in a while specific invitation to one of our community partners. The Alice Paul House was here to talk with us and shared with us quite a bit about what they did and what they stand for. And yeah. And then and I don't want to say kind of run of the mill from there. We had various other things reported from the fire department. Cindy's name wasn't in the attendance, I don't believe.
They didn't allow
IFA was, yeah.
Yeah, fire department was right. And then I think those were the big highlights. There's a couple action items here I'll get to in a moment, but we were talking about the St. Patrick's Day in advance, etc. Okay, yes, I think those are the big.
Parking continues to look great at Danny's Tacos, I will tell you.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
thank you. That's a good one.
Yeah, I would just, if I could add,
Please.
Chiefs, it will be every month. It's a highlight or periodically it'll be a highlight community partners and an officer, and being a systems family therapy guy. It's really cool to see the way Chief sees how different systems connect with public safety. And it was really good. Alice Paul, you can tell I saw a family, probably 3 families that week. I was like, hey, check out Alice Paul House. It was right on my mind. So thank you for that, Chief.
And thank you for the update on Danny's Taco. I forgot about that one. So that was
Looking great. The lines are there. The sidewalk's clear. We're good.
Yeah.
I check every day. I check every day.
Okay. Chief, you were nodding. Were you going to touch on Danny's Taco later or just agreeing?
Yeah, I was just generally agreeing that it looks good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, sidewalk is beautiful.
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
They were talking about whenever Indigo buses came in about revamping the shelters and stuff. And I was thinking, now this is I'm just spitballing here because this can go to a different committee, but contacting either the art department at the high school or the university and have students paint things for the sides of the bus shelters. They're very bland. It's just glass in a black frame. So just having something there to catch people's eyes and maybe remind them, it doesn't have to be transportation related.
Sure.
Just they get to share their art with the community.
Once they're built, who owns them?
Indigo.
Okay, so that wouldn't necessarily have anything to do with this grant per se, but that's an interesting idea.
Well, part of the grant is to fix those shelters.
I guess immediately my head went, I bet you there's people that would do that anyway for permission.
Yeah.
So that's where my thought.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, that's
Just
a
an idea.
very interesting idea. I like that idea.
But yeah, the grant would be to replace and repair existing shelters, which includes trying to working with Chief Shaw and whoever in the borough to figure out where they need them, which is good.
Which we already had that in our plan, one of the comprehensive plan. So there's already in the bike plan.
Awesome.
So there are already shelters where there's not, that we already have them in our plan.
And that would, that
We
would,
shared that with them?
Yes,
Yeah.
we connected Eden and Eden had a meeting with
Oh, great.
them already.
oh, good, okay. I was gonna say, It was left as they were gonna come back.
Is already in the works through other channels. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because we applied for
Nice.
this same grant almost. So we're combining it.
Good. Well, all right then.
Great. Awesome.
Guess I don't need to follow up on that question.
Yeah, magic happens when
But
people
that's
work
good.
together. It's so true.
All right, any other questions before I go to the action items? No, okay. Which case there are a few motions here. We have a motion to approve the West Sylvania Jazz and Blues Festival on Saturday, May 23rd, 2026 at the following locations: Philadelphia Street from 7th to 9th, 8th Street from Gompers to Nixon Avenue, and IRMC Park. The application includes an open container waiver. It is from committee. It does not need a second. Any discussion?
All right, there's a motion on the table. How about some discussion? If there is any?
Is this a adjustment in their scope or size that requires it to return to council?
So this is the second year of their expanded
Of their
size. So
expanded,
last
okay.
year they expanded it from
Okay.
IRMC Park onto Philadelphia Street. So assuming that you're comfortable with how that looked last year, this would be the same as last year. But it's brought to committee, or excuse me, brought to council because they're not yet within that 3-year window.
From the original plan?
Correct.
Cool.
Any further discussion? All right,
Rock and roll or jazz and blues?
jazz and blues. Let's get it. We'll do a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the motion carries.
All right. Next motion is concerning the America 250 parade, excuse me. Suggested motion is motion to approve the American 250 parade on Friday, July 3rd, 2026 at 6:30 PM. The following blueprint: Philadelphia Street from 11th Street to 5th Street plus IRMC Park. Yeah, I think the original motion, I don't know if I need to say this, but the original motion had an open waiver container request, which recommended from committee to approve it without the open waiver. Wow, open container waiver, excuse me.
Yes, correct.
If I didn't just confuse you, so yes to the parade, no to the open waiver.
No.
Wow, I did it again. Open container waiver. Sorry.
We got there.
Is that due to the fact that it's such a large space, it's hard to really maintain proper safety?
Yeah, a few safety issues. This is
Yeah.
a nighttime parade.
Yeah.
Lots of.
Yeah.
Lots
Well,
of kids,
yeah, I
expanded footprint.
Mhm.
We typically don't have open containers at our parades, although we
That's true.
typically don't have the resources focused
Yeah.
on enforcement because we're so
Stretched.
dispersed to
Yeah.
create the safety of the event. So
And we said too, for festivals and things, you're checking in a central location, getting a wristband, you're not wandering Philly Street and drinking out of a
Yeah,
brown
it
bag
is
or
a
whatever
large
kids may do.
space.
Yeah, so.
A lot of people.
And already you can kind of be outside
Going
of
to be-
places drinking. That was part of Sam's point too. And we were like, well, nobody's going to be bothering people in front of the Coney if they're having a drink.
Yeah, within that private area.
It's shaping up to be a very, very well attended event.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have the motion on the table. Is there any further discussion or questions?
I do have one more question. Is this, everything's okay, even though this is a day off for?
We already informed.
Are we adjusting our schedule or are all those costs being passed on to the
The
event
cost will
host?
be.
Okay. Cause this is
That's a
it's a
good
day
question.
off, so we are paying, they'll be paid quite a
Through
good
the
deal
event.
over time because of the, is holiday
In the evening.
in the evening on the holiday, so, yeah. All right.
So they will be absorbing that cost, the American 250 parade.
Yeah.
It's good to know. Thank you for that clarity. Any other questions or comments? All right, moving on to a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I have from public safety, unless anyone had any questions.
Thank you, Councilman Bosler. Moving on to Public Works.
There's a number of
Yeah.
action items and the notes were not in the packet. I don't know if we got double public safety and public works. I couldn't see them, but I have the stuff from Roland here. I couldn't find them. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't see
They were
any.
emailed separately.
Yeah, I have them
Okay.
here, but they're not in the main packet.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't know. I just want to make sure if that needs to be put into the minutes before they get published online. So
Yes, I'll make sure.
I'm just curious.
No.
I've never had it happen. So
Yeah.
it's under commission. It's all the way under public works is?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we've had a lot of events at the wastewater treatment plant since our meeting, but Nicole, are you going to speak to that in your?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can talk about them.
I've been kind of included on the emails, watching them go back and forth. But there is some large repairs that are being made down there. So everything's moving forward with we have a lot of projects on our plate, both at the wastewater treatment plant. I know that like the paving project is, the plans are kind of coming to fruition. I expect those this month. We have a number of things to pay. There's some efforts to clean up McGregor Park. For those who are not aware, we had to utilize that space to dump all the snow from the giant snowstorm. So when you shovel the streets and clear them out, all the trash that's on the streets is now in McGregor Park. And unfortunately, it's an unavoidable consequence of major storms. So we'll be working on efforts to clean that up. I know a number of residents had reached out to address some concerns. So those are being addressed. We're going to do some cleanup there. Let me see what else. Vinegar Hill project is moving forward as planned. And fingers crossed that our soil amendments work and we're able to plant on the hill in a way that is like sustainable and that we have nice weed-free mostly area for years 2026 or 7. All right. The other thing that we talked about is a comprehensive evaluation of the treatment plant. We do have a number of large projects coming up, but one of the things that this council has been prioritizing is developing plans across all of our committees so that we have a guideline for repairing things and being less reactive to problems as they come up and just being more proactive about the maintenance that needs to take place. And those plans do cost money, so we'll be spending some funds to put together a comprehensive plan for the treatment center because we expect, to do another large repair in the next couple decades, and we also foresee the inevitability of outgrowing that space. So there's a lot of things in play there, and we're trying to get a tackle on that now rather than waiting until it becomes an emergency. All right, we'll go through all of our suggested motions here. All right, first one is for the HomeServe USA Service Line Program. The motion to approve the service line program by HomeServe as an optional resource for residents. This program educates homeowners about their service line responsibilities while providing optional, affordable protection against unexpected service line repair costs. Does it need a second? Is there any discussion?
I have one just point of clarity, I guess. By allowing this to happen, we're not specifically endorsing this, correct? We're saying this is a service, we will allow marketing of it. But
And we've
it's
vetted
not
it.
like we're technical engineers on water line replacement programs. Right, I just wanted, Casey, I think you mentioned this early on.
Yeah.
We're not opening a Pandora's box here to get sued because we said
Yeah, it's more of
anything, are
like,
we?
we've checked through them and that they're a vetted service and folks can use them to protect their investments in their homes.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
No cost to the borough.
It's no cost to the borough. It's completely optional, but it is a low cost service compared to like some other groups. And if
And
you're
certifying
not
it
aware,
for-
laterals do need to be inspected and
Yeah,
What'd you
sewer
say?
laterals, electricity lines.
A really good one if it is.
all right.
Yeah, they were
Alright.
the.
You have a motion on it's on the table.
There's a motion on the table. Are there any further discussion? We'll move on to a roll call, voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, the home serve motion passes.
All right, here is the second motion. It is related to the traffic signal maintenance agreement. It's a motion to approve the maintenance agreement with Rogel Electric to comply with liquid fuels requirements. This is a step we need to take in our traffic light adjustments. We need to have a contract for this company because when we're using liquid fuel funds, you need to have a contract in place for any costs above what, $20,000?
Yeah, this
So-
has nothing to do with the upgrade. This is separate. This is just for our yearly maintenance and for call outs and emergencies and stuff.
Because once you reach that threshold, then you can't use those funds unless you have a contract. So this is our contract. So we can use those liquid fuels money.
Are there any other further questions or comments on the motion? All right, we are spending money, so we'll need to do a roll call vote.
Yes. Broad,
Yes,
DeBowser,
Yes.
Maple,
Yes.
Milnes,
Yep.
Newell,
Yes.
Cerniso,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Vanderneck.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
All right,
All right, here's our third motion. This is related to the wastewater treatment plant electrical work. This is a motion to approve pay application number 9 submitted by TP Electric LLC in the amount of $2,764.97 for electrical work on the wastewater improvements project.
all right. Are there any questions? I have no clue what that project is. I just know it's one of the many things we were working on down
It's the
there.
first one.
It's the first one.
It's the one right now.
Yeah.
Not Headworks.
It works.
This feels laughably small doing the total numbers on this.
I think we're winding down.
It's like a
to-
400,000.
Yeah, we're kind of winding down to the-
Yeah, this is the ninth pay
Yeah.
app.
their 9th check.
Yeah. All right, we're spending money, so we'll go move on to a roll call vote.
DeBowser,
Yes.
Maple,
Yes.
Milnes,
Yep.
Newell,
Yes.
Cerniso,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Vanderneck,
Yes.
Broad.
yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
Or did she forget Peter or did she?
No.
mix it up? You're supposed to, but it's just
All right, this is a final motion on this committee.
You retired, Peter, I don't know that.
It's a motion to approve pay application number 8 submitted by Kruger and Contracting LLC in the amount of $54,803.42 for general work at the wastewater treatment improvements project. So also same project, our first project, not Headworks.
I can't wait to go
Next.
get a tour and have them point to all the things that we're.
Yeah. Once it stops being, summer, winter, really.
Yeah,
I have a question.
can't wait.
I'm just not seeing that number on the thing that was provided. Is it supposed to be on here somewhere?
Where the amount, the 71,000.
Let me see if they have
I'm sorry, I thought you said 51,000.
Sorry,
54,000.
54,803.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. It was typed in. Sorry, it was handwritten in the last one. My apologies. Found it. Threw me off.
And yeah, we should definitely talk about a field trip
Oh, yeah.
soon. Just to get a sense of, especially with the other issue that you'll be bringing up, just to get a comprehensive view of
Yeah.
what's going on down there, what's being fixed, what's next up.
Maybe those solar panels, man. All right, we're gonna be spending money. We'll move on to another roll call vote.
Maple,
Yes.
Milnes,
Yes.
Newell,
Yes.
Cerniso,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Vanderneck,
Yes.
Broad,
Yes,
DeBowser.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no.
I think that's it for Public Works unless anyone has anything they would like to talk about.
Thank you for the words. Moving on to commission reports, planning.
okay. Well, we've always discussed one thing that came from the planning commission. They talked about the housing study that the planning commission has requested from the county. And apparently there's at least 2 other municipalities who've agreed to it so far. We're trying to get ahead of housing needs before things down in Homer City get out of hand. There was also discussion of safety improvements on Philadelphia Street. We're a little unhappy that we still haven't heard back from PennDOT from their survey. And there was some discussion that enforcement is still going to be a part of, an important part of what is done once we do the traffic lights and all that sort of thing. And then we had the conditional use hearing on that conversion of the building to a parking lot, and you can see in the minutes there what they talked about, and we have taken action. So oh, and Nick Harris was really upset about what do you call it, dropping coal. There's only one truck in town that does it. That's when
Where they like,
where
they call it, I thought they called it rolling coal.
what it's called, the dropping. That's where they have the oversized exhaust pipes and blow black smoke out as they go by.
Well, it actually has nothing to do with the exhaust pipe. It's a kit you can put on your truck.
Well,
That'll actually.
It's like, it's in the back.
Yeah,
right?
it's
Comes up.
I haven't investigated, so
yeah,
I don't know the truck.
yeah. Some trucks have switches you can
It's
flip.
not particularly neighborly. I think that's the intention.
Yep,
Can we ban
not at all neighborly.
like state
Not
law?
really.
I saw
There
it. I
was
was gonna-
concern.
You're not supposed to have tinted windows, and we have those, so I don't know.
So someone we can enforce it.
That's
Have you seen it?
It is concerning. So please, if you're doing it,
Yeah.
Anyhow,
I'm sure they're listening.
Yeah, they're watching.
thank you, Peter. Up next, Shade Tree.
I think this will be my last meeting as the council rep, as Kathy will take over. I don't believe we've seen February minutes.
Oh, she just emailed them late today, like
Okay.
to what I got.
That was from our last one. That was
So,
from.
We have a draft from March.
We've not seen anything before that.
This one?
It's March. I have it. Those are not February.
Oh,
So
February.
we met just last week on March 30th and discussed the bare root tree project. We were approved for planting sites of 14 trees that will be marked on Philadelphia Street as well as North 6th Street. They continue to work on the ordinance revision, and the subcommittee will reconvene to finalize a couple changes that'll come to the commission in April. And then to Pat and then to us. Spring planting will consist of a handful of trees that homeowners have requested. We hope to have 6 more done on Water Street, but the priority will be the tree requests first, and then Water Street, if not done in the spring, will be added to the fall. If you're interested in attending the Arbor Day tree planting, Arbor Day is Friday, April 25th. And the ceremony will be held at noon in front of the fire hall. And if you're curious, we're planting a lace bark elm there. We're also looking to update the tree inventory. We renew in May on the current license and product. And the commission is really interested in downloading what we have and moving to a couple options that are free. And so exploration of that, and we're currently talking about how the data can be downloaded so that it's not an entire recreate. And then lastly, we talked a little bit about the sidewalk project, and based on conversation that we had at council, is that it's slow going, and that I think gave them some relief. And if it's false, we need to tell them. And then Tyler did a training session with Ryan and his crew on pruning the English oaks and the ginkgos that are on the south side of Philly between 9th and 6th.
That's all I'm doing then.
It was a very robust meeting.
I have a couple of questions,
Sure.
if that's okay. Sure.
Yeah.
What was preventing them from being able to update the database? Because didn't we pay a bunch of money to have that thing updated? Time.
Yeah, Ryan is the person who updates it. It's
Okay.
not the job of our arborist. And he just really said that he does not have. It either gets so caught up that it will take him a lot of time to update it. But with his daily job and all the expectations that he has, he does not update the inventory regularly.
Feels like a
Now,
bit of a
he
terrible
there
answer,
was some issues with it at first. He had to reach out to the rep and they did give us a new rep. There was did he talk about that?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was, whoever sold it to us along, that rep then moved on, and then he did get in touch with the new rep because there was some issues with it. And I believe those issues have been worked out.
But I think there's also a real concern that the accuracy of that product, the product was good, but maybe it wasn't so accurate when you would go out to the street and it might say there's 13 trees. And either there were removals or really there were 23 trees and they only got 13.
All right then.
There you go.
They were talking about using Google.
Yeah, Google
They
is,
were trying
and
to use Google.
then Tyler said there are some really good new products developed, like one out of Texas A&M that can be useful as a replacement.
And they were free, right?
Free.
Which would save them a lot of money.
That's good.
Mhm.
The next question I had then was, where are we on the update of the ordinance?
I'm with you. I had said, where's the ordinance? And they were not, it didn't seem like they were gonna convene a meeting. And I said, you really said that was going to council by December, January, and then it was gonna get to Pat before that. And that got them to meet because I said there's urgency that it comes to council.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
And she did say that. Quite
Clearly.
eloquently.
You can't say one thing and do the other.
I appreciate that, because
So
I was a little grumpy just about a year ago.
I know. I know.
So,
I
All
know.
right, Kathy, you're up to be the new taskmaster.
She's gonna sit very close.
Yeah, so that I can hear them all. They start talking and I don't even know what they're talking about.
Trees.
Well,
Trees.
yeah. So, but I mean,
Yeah, I know. I've been doing meetings.
so I
It is
just
fun.
go like sitting there
Good.
like, trying to follow what they're saying.
For
So-
anyone listening, they're good, hardworking people. They're a volunteer
Yeah.
organization, so we're poking a little fun at them.
Oh,
They're good people.
It's not, I can't. Trouble.
hearing.
I have hearing aids.
Yeah.
So when too many people are talking at the same time,
I mean, you might have to
And they're
be
talking
an
about stuff I
enforcer.
don't
They could use
understand,
that,
it
like,
makes it
hey, let's
harder.
one at a time, raise hands and
Yes.
enforce Robert's rules.
Yeah, get him in the shape.
Yeah.
well,
And
Angie said that she did something I really liked because I didn't understand what they were talking about. Neither did she. So she asked them. So I was like, I'm glad
Might
you
need
did
to sit
that.
down. Somebody asked me.
Yeah.
They're good people. They really are.
Oh, yeah, they're good. That's good guys. I just, they know what they're talking about and I don't. So,
I'll be there another meeting.
yeah.
All right.
All right, moving on to personnel reports. Nicole?
Last week or a week and a half, I attended the Pelres conference up in Hershey. Good conference, couple days conference on code of conducts, a lot of labor negotiation topics, FMLA, workplace policies. But, same, a lot of chiefs, a lot of police chief was there, a lot of other borough managers. So a lot of connections, talked to a lot of different people. Everybody's in the same boat, we all have the same issues, all the same problems. I think when talking to them, I feel like we're kind of ahead of the game in a lot of our things that we do here. So pretty impressive, I think, what we've accomplished on certain things. So I can brag about that, I think. We did have an issue over that came up in the last week and a half that's going to be coming to Public Works, but we had to move fast with it. We had a down by our detention tank, we had a sanitary sewer breakage. It kind of collapsed. There was a collapse in it. So it was, we had to get an emergency move forward with like an emergency permit, get a contractor, and it's going to run anywhere from, it's kind of quote that I did get. It was going to be anywhere from 125,000 to 150,000 to fix this pipe and get the pipe. The pipe should be here by the end of the week. Kukrin, who has done multiple work in the borough with the sewage plant, is going to be the one replacing the pipe and getting it back. Bill Sosserman's been involved. Brad, they've been up at the detention tank. So when it rains, if the detention tank was filling up, they had people on standby there running shifts, and we were able to get a hold of everybody we needed to get a hold of and started it. So it's one of those situations that you don't plan for, but that's what you need the reserves for. It's how important that, you know, we have those reserves for the sewage, you know, operating or sewer maintenance and stuff like that. So it's a lesson that we need to start really taking into consideration our lines. These are older lines, and that's, you know, when we talk about this, you know, big headworks project, this is the reason why we need to keep moving forward with the outreaches and these sewer projects. So, we just finished up the audit that was submitted April 1st. The auditors will be here at the next admin meeting to give their report. I'll put them on at 6 o'clock. They'll run through it about a half hour and they'll update the report. I haven't heard anything negative. I think it was a good audit. The pension reports were filed on time. That was done on March 31st. So we're good with that. And Jonathan, the mayor, and Trajan, we did a little interview with the business magazine. Did you guys get the link? I just got the link to review it, and it's actually pretty good article. So it hasn't gone live yet, but that's something to look forward to. So Trajan connected that, and it actually is a pretty good article, and I'm excited to when it launches. So we'll keep you guys advised of that. So that's all I have to report.
Thank you
Yeah.
for all your good work.
Yes, and thanks to all the Public Works and engineering and Roland and everybody that worked. I mean,
Yeah, they
a
did
lot
a
of
good
emails
job.
back and forth, and just watching it all happen was pretty great to see everybody working.
I
together
know.
quickly.
It's just, I think the one time I saw some of the engineers said, I said, man, there's so much. He goes, we are so busy. Like, we do a lot here. We have a lot going on.
Yeah.
In this borough. Like,
Yes.
a lot of projects and so funding, grants, and just a lot.
Yeah.
We had we need to put this somewhere, I guess. I had my first steering committee meeting with Nicole and Eden. We haven't updated that.
Oh, yes, that's right.
That'd be great.
We'll need to remember
Really?
to go to our meeting.
Yeah, whenever. We're gonna have them one every 2 months, so.
Yeah.
We have our first, I met.
For the foundation.
Yes, for the.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to get a.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of work, and we seem to have a good team, so more to come there. We'll talk about fundraising already.
All right, Chief Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to provide an operational summary for 2026 weekend activity over St. Patrick's Day. That will be March 20th through March 22nd. And what's being passed out is a memo that I issued to Mayor Simonton on the 31st of March that I wanted to share publicly with council and the community today. So from 7 a.m. Friday, March 20th to 7 p.m. Sunday, March 22nd, police department responded to a total of 164 calls for service. During that same period last year, we responded to 168 calls for service. This should not indicate a less active weekend environment. Many of our calls we handled over this weekend were significant safety concerns and required a level of omnipresence in specific areas that, of course, required us to be at a distance. So there were 52 offenses charged during the weekend as compared to 36 in 2025. And there were several arrests ranging from fugitive from justice to firearms offenses to DUIs and traffic offenses. Additionally, we have responded to 3 crashes, 8 medical emergencies, and we investigated two shootings and 1 sexual assault investigation and multiple physical assaults over the weekend. We had cooperation from parking, public works, and code enforcement throughout the weekend. We also had participation in town, both working together and independently with the IUP Police Department, Pennsylvania State Police, not only members of Troop A, which is an Indiana barracks, but also liquor control enforcement agents. Their mounted patrol units were visible throughout the weekend. Our assisting agencies also included Indiana County Emergency Management, Indiana County District Attorney's Office, Indiana County Sheriff's Office, Blairsville Borough Police Department, Indiana Regional Medical Center. They provided equipment, funding for specific enforcement details and investigative efforts, assistance with call response and custody holding and transportation and medical assessments of ill and intoxicated or injured community members. We had a great deal of community support from Michelle Freiling at IUP, Public Information Officer. Also, members of Summit Church provided warm meals for all first responders, both Friday and Saturday nights. The cost of the weekend, and we were able to schedule heavily for the weekend under special event scheduling, but we still had some overtime costs. We spent $1,354 on operational overtime, and special enforcement details were $1,098, but that was all grant funded through traffic safety effort. In summation, I'd like to present that the men and women of your police department, as well as the men and women of your public works, parking code, and administrative departments performed admirably on behalf of the community during all special events, really, and weekends of increased activity. Not only was your staff active and engaged throughout the weekend, but weeks of advanced planning and proactive relationships were required by all department heads to prepare for such a large-scale community safety response that's required during those weekends. The police department and administration's advanced planning included coordinating with members of our partner agencies, executive and stakeholder meetings of IAC, communicating with our business community, student rentals, student landlords, and meeting with IUP Greek leaders. Operational deployment and response for the weekend's police activity followed a detailed plan that was created by Lieutenant Slavinsky and executed by Sergeants Mike Ragliani, Mike Rayco, and Jeff Hogue. And all officers performed admirably in their patrol and criminal investigative units. On Friday, campus-adjacent gatherings started before noon. They grew larger throughout the day and into the evening. Increases in vehicle and pedestrian traffic were experienced starting Friday afternoon and throughout the evening. The largest outdoor gatherings were experienced along South 7th Street, Wayne Avenue, Rice Avenue, with smaller gatherings being more dispersed. The nighttime activity on Friday was shared between campus-adjacent properties and also Philadelphia Street Bar District. On Saturday, our largest outdoor gatherings took place on Saturday afternoon and occurred in private parking lots associated with IUP Greek Life along Rice Avenue. Those gatherings started at noon and quickly grew beyond their boundaries, creating blocked roadways on Rice Avenue until about 6 p.m. Although associated fraternities observed or demonstrated a vested interest in risk management, planning, and guest safety, my personal observation and professional observation was that the crowds grew so large with so much early drinking and all day drinking that they became overwhelming for the host organizations to maintain an adequate level of control. Even so, the atmosphere, level of cooperation, support, and respect from our Greek life continue to be something that's worthy of being emulated for years to follow. The gatherings along the Rice Avenue corridor concluded between 5:45 and 6 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, with several hundred people filling Rice Avenue. multiple fights broke out. Those gathered intentionally lingered on roadways, requiring a significant police resource to regain order, maintain open roadways, and return public safety. Into the night, there were 2 reports of gunfire. And again, hundreds of people gathered and lingered along Philadelphia Street and sidewalks of the Borough District, again requiring a significant police resource for safety. Many of our arrests did not involve IUP students, but the influx of our visitors and the increased police needs should be directly attributed to the weekend's activity. Regardless of arrest statistics, crowd management and community safety required the assistance of every partner that we had. And we're very grateful for the presence of the Pennsylvania State Police and their specialty units who were instrumental in crowd dispersal and quickly de-escalating circumstances that could have otherwise been much worse. Overall, professional and effective handling of the weekend and all circumstances encountered because of the advanced planning and coordination and all of the leadership throughout the weekend from all of our great partners. We could not have been as efficient or effective without the Sheriff's Department, the District Attorney's Office, the State Police, IUP Police, Emergency Management, and all of our first responding partners to support the community. As in years past, Summit Church has appreciated and demonstrated care for all of our first responders over the weekend with warm meals. And finally, I thank our student residents for their support and respect of our public safety effort over the weekend and for their continued respect of our ongoing mission. And as I've told you many times, it continues to be an honor to lead your public safety efforts from March 20th to 22nd. Second comment I'd like to make is just a continued update on traffic safety progress. So I'd just like to reiterate that our March public safety meeting, I reported that since February 10th, staff has been working on modifications to the traffic safety infographic and frequently asked questions that are soon to be made public. It is public? Okay, that is now public. On February 12th, Manager Cephas obtained an engineering services agreement from Gibson Thomas Engineering and Philadelphia Street Signal Modification Project. February 17th, the engineering agreement was brought to Administrative Committee and work session as an action item. Also on February 17th, we were made aware of PennDOT's Automated Red Light Enforcement Transportation Enhancement Grant Program. That application should be open here in the next week or two. And so our communication and grant coordinator and the police department and administration are going to be working towards some traffic safety related items under that grant heading. We continue from the police department to do traffic counts and vehicle data on side streets so that we can understand what a comparative impact will be when our traffic signals change to volume and speeds and the corridors that we feel are going to be most affected. After our last public meeting, members of our community wanted us to broach a conversation or suggested that we begin broaching a conversation on putting the ex-pedestrian crossings back at some intersections through town. We can, again, late March, we had a conversation with several partners, including our senator and representative, PennDOT, Gibson Thomas Engineering, and the Center for Economic Development, just to talk about all things traffic safety related in town and how potential changes in one areas will certainly affect traffic in other areas and safety in other areas. So we want to make sure, and we are making sure, that we have a comprehensive approach to traffic safety. My next update will be provided to public safety next week along the same lines that I just reported. So that's the traffic safety update, and I have nothing further to report.
Thank you. Thank you for your work. Mr. Solicitor?
I have nothing to report.
No news is good news. Nice to not have any bigger problems. And the report from our IUP representative, I believe, was in your packet.
Yeah.
Some highlights here. Safety Sciences and Environmental Engineering Department are receiving a U.S. Department of Labor OSHA training grant for 2025. Congratulations. Federal money is not easy to get. IUP history is featured on PCN College and History Series. True. Did you watch it?
Not yet.
Oh.
Wasn't required for a class yet.
Okay. Soon.
I'm saving it.
Soon. Yeah, and I've heard that they're just trucking along with that med school and things look good. They have upcoming events. The women's basketball will play a PSAC tournament That's
old.
That's
That's
old.
we did it.
They already won.
That is day one, and we just celebrated them. I was here earlier today. You were?
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have for IEP representative. If you'd like to find out more, you can read the agenda. For my report, I just wanted to say thank you so much to our police officers, our code departments, and everyone who worked on IU patties to keep and manage, to keep our neighborhood safe and orderly and manage that great influx of people. And also Dr. Grenville and the staff at IUP, and of course, Betsy and her work with the Greek life. I think it's impressive that we can come together and manage an event like that. And it gives me a lot of confidence when I start to dread the American 250 parade internally. But it'll be okay.
Maybe a rowdy adventure.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like nothing we've ever experienced before.
It's like a Christmas parade with nice weather.
With nice weather. It's fireworks. It's
Yeah,
gonna
and
be,
fireworks.
it's gonna be something else.
Exploding.
I'm very excited for it. But that's my report, and I want to thank all of my fellow council people. It's really a pleasure to work on this council and with these people who come to the meetings prepared. You have great comments. You think through things. You get information out there, and I really appreciate working with such a proactive board. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor.
Yes. Absolutely no fireworks during that parade. And I want to echo basically everything. Thank you to everyone for hard work during IU patties, first responders, EMS. Thank you for that. Public Works, code enforcement, IRMC, all the law enforcement agencies that partnered with us. I'm just so grateful that we have the ability to come together and have an event this big and have the partners in enforcement to handle it. Like I said, it was a major event. I was out there with the chief, and then later was out there with Lieutenant, and like I wasn't just in the cop car. Actually, he got out when he got out, and it was an event. And I'm just thankful for the people that we have in Indiana County that and provide assistance. Earlier in March, I visited with a local Cub Scout troop over at Grace Church. They basically wanted to talk about the whole how government works, and when I went there with the intent to speak for maybe 20 minutes, and turned into basically a 45-minute lesson. They were engaged with questions.
My apologies. Who were you speaking with? I apologize.
A Scout troop over at Grace.
Okay, that's very cool.
They were really engaged in the conversation. They had questions. I see some future council and senators in that group. And then tomorrow, it's really cool that's being there because you get invited to cool events like Ruth Hurley, who's turning 102 tomorrow. So I'm gonna go visit with her and everything. And I hear one of the things on our bucket list is to ride a motorcycle, so she's gonna knock that off. So I look forward to the events over there, the fountains, to celebrate Ruth's birthday. And that is all I have.
Thank you. Moving on to old business. Luke, do you want to give us an update on the resolutions?
Yes. All right. So turns out we accidentally submitted the resolution to the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs, which we're also a member of. But Nicole, the link you had sent me for submission was not to the municipal league, but was to the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs. It's also been submitted to the municipal league. And so the reason I specifically want to bring it up is because this body said, yes, let's send it to the league. And then I actually sent it to the borough, the Association of Boroughs. I wanted to make sure there wasn't any issues with that. They did say they would forward it along for consideration at their annual meeting. The PML has given me feedback actually just today, that this particular resolution is outside of the scope of what they normally deal with. I asked for some clarity on what those things are, because there was other topics. Casey, you mentioned some things that maybe we'd want to submit in the future. So I'm waiting on some feedback from them as to like what that particular wheelhouse would be. But the State Association of Boroughs said they would send it along. So it is still working its way through one of the two pipelines. And so I don't know if we need a formal action or not. I reread the resolution itself. It doesn't say the municipal league anywhere in it. So unless somebody tells me we need to do something differently, I don't know what, Jonathan, if you want something done. It's already sent though, and I don't think anyone would have an issue with it, but it was an accidental forward onto that. That's not what it meant to do. So there's that feedback and update. And then I also have a general request. If I do find other avenues, what would the desire be if I find other places that we may be able to forward this along? What's the right course of action so that I don't overstep, and become too individualistic as a body? What would the right answer be? Bring it to you, Jonathan? What would you want done?
Yeah, I think you would bring it to me or bring it in advance and put it on an agenda.
Sure.
Just give us a little bit of warning so we can get it on the appropriate one.
Certainly.
If it's got a specific topic, target one of our committees and then bring it to council like normal, like a normal agenda thing. I think we probably should.
I think it's a very general, right?
Yeah.
It's like a general statement of values of what we want to see.
Yeah, it was a call to the government of Pennsylvania is how the resolution read when I reviewed it to the best of my knowledge. That's how it's worded. And so I don't know it didn't seem an error to go to the boroughs, the Association of Boroughs. I just did not seek approval to do that. And so that's my fault there.
Well, I guess we could acknowledge the mistake and we could authorize that. I guess if we would be so inclined if we feel it's necessary.
Well, I mean, I can propose the motion then to officially forward on the resolution to the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs, which I accidentally already did, but you leave that part out of the motion.
I honestly don't think you need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
You passed the resolution. It's a public document.
Yeah.
So wherever that gets distributed, if the media distributed or whoever distributed it, I don't think there's any problem there.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't overstepping, formally speaking, by and not just this one. This was an honest mistake, but if I see other avenues, that's more.
Yeah.
So just bring it to you, Jonathan. We'll put it on wherever we deem
If
it.
it's a new resolution, but we've already given
I
the
don't think you
authority
need
to
to do
the
anything
current
with
one.
that. When you
Yeah.
passed it,
I feel
it's
like
a
you
public
could be
document.
empowered to send that public resolution on to
The state or
Anywhere.
the Senate,
Yeah.
you can,
Right.
yeah.
I just don't want to overstep. So
Or any of our resolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, the reason I should have brought this up as well, because I did speak with some other folks. I didn't ask if I could name them, so I won't specifically name them, but they're concerned parties that also work in this space. And they had put me in contact with some other people that are moving, not exactly like we are. Ours is rather general. Some other folks that are a little more specific. And so I just think many voices are easier to hear. And so I was going to reach out to them and just see if there's some level of collaboration, even if it's as a letter of appreciation and backing back and forth, some level. And I just didn't want to overstep. That's really why I want to make sure to bring it up.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you are empowered to if this is your topic that you want to pursue, do what you feel like you
Okay.
want to
That's
do
great.
personally.
Yeah, and I can give
Because we
reports.
voted on the resolution, you're just sharing exactly
Yeah.
what our values
I mean,
are.
honestly, these conversations that you're having them because of your personal interest, which might amount to something that if influences your position on council or an outcome on council. Are you speaking for the You're not speaking for the borough.
Well, that's why I want to make sure I'm not overstepping by bringing up a specific resolution. that
If he
we-
provides the resolution that you pass at a public meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're talking about that and like doing research and building on that knowledge, then.
Yeah, and
that's
if
great.
anything formal, okay, I'll give you a generalized report. And then if anything needs formal
If
action,
anything
Jonathan,
comes-
just give me that feedback and we can.
Yeah.
Um,
I like it that you have a special interest and it's a good one to have. It's not something that usually boroughs get too involved in because it's so managed by the county and the state, right?
I genuinely think that's part of the problem. Honestly, I'm not trying to heap more on this council, and I don't mean the borough council specifically, but I think a lot of people think, well, someone else will handle that,
Yeah.
right? And about a variety of
Well, I
topics.
think-
This is
I
one
think
happens to be
it's-
near and dear to
You
me.
could say that that's how we got into the situation on Philadelphia Street as well. Like, it's not in our, it's not our road, right? And so it took a lot of force for us to get to where we're at, and sometimes it
really bad
takes a lot of that. So,
And that's, so yeah. So anyway, I just want to make sure I wasn't overstepping. So thank you for that information. And like I said, Jonathan, I'll just keep you apprised of, when things happen. And if you feel more is necessary, just let me know.
Thank you for having an active interest. I don't see any new business, upcoming events and positive community impacts. I could use a good story.
so Thursdays are
That's right.
start soon. April 16th. Yep. So that kicks off starting third Thursdays. Every third Thursday, there's a free concert, and food trucks and vendors, and it's just a great free community event that everyone is welcome to attend. Bring a lawn chair, and there's usually kids activities, and it's a good community gathering.
I have a positive community impact I've seen. I want to give my neighbor, I didn't tell her I was going to do this, but I want to shout out my neighbor, Mickey, who has basically become our block grandmother. She reaches out to take care of kids in our immediate community. She's always very friendly. She actually helps some of the older folks on our block as well. With taking out garbage, even mowing the lawn. She shoveled my walkway once, which it was greatly embarrassing as I am a professional plow guy, but she wouldn't not do it. She did it when I was out of work. So she's very willing to give to her neighbors, and she gets nothing but a smile and a thank you, and that's all she's ever needed. And so I just want to shout out my neighbor for a really positive community impact, specifically on the 1100 block of Church Street.
Excellent.
You got a name?
Mickey. I didn't tell her I was going to say anything, so I don't want to say her last name. So,
Any others? Okay. I like that. Thanks for the stories, guys. I don't see any need for an executive session today. No need. All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Peter. Second. All in favor?
Second.
Whoever's next.